Hello and welcome to the Comics Atlas. This is the series where we talk about the complete history of comic book characters. Today is a very special episode for Spider-Man. We're covering the story titled If This Be My Destiny, published from issues 31 to 33 of The Amazing Spider-Man, cover date from September 1965 through February 1966. In my humble opinion, If This Be My Destiny is the first truly great Spider-Man story told since the origin of the character. It's not a knock on other issues we have already covered, but this one stands on the pantheon of webhead greatness. So, without further ado, hop on and let's begin. The story starts in the middle of a robbery at a nuclear facility. The thieves retrieve their loot on an helicopter and knock out the police, but Spider-Man is nearby, ready to face them. They drop their load on the water, where another team rescues the cargo while Parker knocks down the chopper. It's revealed the purple criminals work for the master planner. Jumping to the next day, it's all happiness as Peter registrates for college. Of course, our hero doesn't have the luxury of a nice day because her aunt falls ill once again, but her guilt-filled nephew beats himself, thinking he could have done better for her. The next page is Peter's first day at Empire State University. Right off the bat, we meet fellow classmates Harry Osborn and Gwen Stacy. Throughout the day, puny Parker can only think of his aunt, making the other students feel like he's been a self-obsessed asshole. This continues the following day, with Peter now swinging all night to try and get some pictures and money to pay his bills. He gets a tip from Patch and strikes the Peters, avoiding another robbery from the same guys from before. Once again, the master planner signs off, noting he has faced Spider-Man before. Surely we met this man and it turns out to be Dr. Octopus. From his underwater base, he has been working on the effects of radiation and developing a ray to put the world on its knees. Anyway, now in the Daily Bugle building, Peter is unable to sell some petty crime pictures to Jonah and has to face off with Ned Leeds and Betty Brant. Remember, at this point Spider-Man wants Betty to stop loving him and move on with her life. Then the reason of Aunt May's illness is revealed. The doctors say somehow a radioactive particle has made its way to the old lady's bloodstream, but Peter knows too well why. He gave a blood transfusion of his radioactive blood to his aunt in the past. Said transfusion occurred during issue 10. I didn't cover it back in that video, but in my defense it was only like 3 panels and it was a fight with the enforcers. We see a very mad Peter. His only choice is to ask a favor from a man he once helped, Dr. Kurt Connors, a specialist on the field. Now living in New York, Spider-Man tracks him down and requests help. The doctor mentions a certain serum, ISO 36, might help cure his aunt and pledges to be helpful in any way possible. Parker pawns his stuff to get money for the cure and starts working on it, when suddenly it's reported the Master Planner's gang stole the ISO 36 shipment. Now Spider-Man is a man on a rampage. He tours through the city's underworld trying to get info on the thieves. After tackling a bunch of criminals, he locks out and finds a secret passage to the headquarters of the man he's looking for. What he doesn't quite expect is to come face to face with Dr. Octopus, also known as the Master Planner. It's a ferocious battle that thrashes the underwater base. Embroiled in his rage, Webhead gets trapped under a gigantic iron structure. With the serum on site and the place starting to get submerged, it seems everything's lost for our protagonist. With that setup, we open the final chapter of this epic adventure. Peter knows his only way out is to lift the structure over his body, but he's too exhausted. Suddenly, his whole life comes to him. It's his duty to save his aunt as he couldn't save his uncle. He can't fail now. He gathers every ounce of strength he has left and starts lifting. His body is aching and water is starting to fill the place even faster. He knows the odds are stacked against him, but it's in that precise moment he has to show the worthiness of his mission. Finally, he does it. Spider-Man is free! His arm is hurt, but his will is stronger than ever. He picks the serum as the flowing water throws him out of the room and into the hands of more enemies. But at this point, Spider-Man is unstoppable. Peter puts it like this: a man may lose, a man may be defeated. It's no disgrace so long as he doesn't give up. And I'm not giving up. I'm not. He doesn't even realize he has disposed of every rival. He finally returns to the surface, but there's still a lot of work to do. He rushes to the lab of Dr. Connors to complete the cure for his aunt. They do it in quick fashion and now it's a race for the hospital. When he reaches the place, Parker simply delivers the cure to the doctors and it's Father Time who will tell if the whole ordeal was worth it. Still no rest for our hero. He must do cleanup on the Master Planner's gang. Setting up his camera, he takes some pictures and promptly calls Foswell and the police to take care of the rest. We see the beaten up face of Peter Parker when he reaches the Daily Bugle, but he can't take it and leaves the place as the teenager goes with Jameson. He's in no mood to take crap from the publisher, and the good money he's given will be very useful for his son's bill. For the last time we return to the hospital. The results show Aunt May's blood has stopped deteriorating. The serum worked. Now Peter can go home knowing he did the right thing for his family, and hopefully his aunt will be back, healthy, in the future. Okay, that is an epic tale, but let's dissect it further. What makes this story so special is the way Spider-Man is portrayed to tackle his problems. This is the actual story where Peter applies, with great power there must also come great responsibility. Even though he may not have known at the time, it's him being radioactive that made his aunt ill. You know, it's completely personal, and the man will not let anyone or anything get in the way of his mission. It's everything that makes Spider-Man human blended in one neat story. The pain of battle, the fear of defeat, the love of family, and the joy of victory. The piling of struggle after struggle makes his eventual victory feel the more earned. From having to create the cure, to crushing New York's underworld and battling Doc Ock. But of course, the one everyone remembers is Spider-Man lifting the iron structure with water getting to him. It has been shown and adapted many times in movies and cartoons as a showcase of Webhead's strength and determination. But in any case, the internal struggle and narration and the ever-increasing size of the panels escalate the scene all the way to its glorious climax. It's just a beautiful sequence that makes you realize why you love comic books. This whole adventure even works as a setup for the future of the comic. You know, the story of Spider-Man can be told without Harry Osborn and Gwen Stacy. This was their first appearance and they'll be huge in the decades to come. Their initial interactions with Peter are antagonistic, so we'll have to see how they evolve with time. 5 stars on all fronts this week. Anyway guys, that's it for today. Don't forget to leave your like, share and subscribe down below. You can also check my other playlists on heroes such as Thor and Daredevil. This is the Comics Atlas, and I wish you all a nice existence.